not the boss. Jesus is my boss. However, I like this shirt, the color, because it's bright. The truth, why we need accountability. Why, if you be in sobriety like me, if you are recovering from an addiction or alcoholism like me, then it is imperative to have a mentor in your life that will hold you accountable and tell you the truth. And it can't be your family or your best friend, somebody that you used to run with. It needs to be an objective person that you admire, that you trust, that they're sober, and they have the things that you want to achieve too. If I want advice on staying in a relationship, well, I need to go to someone that has a healthy relationship. The thing about recovering people is they will lie to themselves, myself included. I was the worst. That's why it is important to have a mentor or a sponsor, because we are very famous for lying to ourselves. We will justify things in our own head. There needs to be Christ, another person, and ourselves. We need to be honest with God, ourselves, and another human being, because we can justify things and say that we heard things that God tells us to do, we feel led to do, and we're just lying to ourselves. So if you be in recovery like me, it's super important to have accountability. It needs to be someone that is sober and you admire, that is not a part of your family, that is not a person that you use with, someone that's sober and free and what you would like to be. You need to stop justifying things and do what God's called you to do. God created you for a special purpose. If you're in recovery like me, God is tugging on you to do what God has called you to do. Be clean and sober, honestly and genuinely, so that your family can rely on you too, so that you can do what God created you to do, so you can bring people to Christ too, so that you can save lives, literally, is what you're been called to do. Look, it's time to get serious about your recovery. Your real friends will tell you the truth, whether it hurts or not. Be honest with yourself, or you're going to continue to feel more and more pain. Pain is the touchstone to growth. Pain is inevitable. Suffering is optional when we get honest and we tell the truth. In order to be as honest as possible, in order to have rigorous honesty, if you be a recovering person like me, if you have an addictive personality like me, then we need another person in our life that has more time clean and sober than us to hold us accountable, to check things off with, to make sure we're not justifying things. We are famous for being dishonest with ourselves, other people, and we may not even know it. I've been super guilty of that too, trying to do it all alone, and I mess things up really bad. I'm nowhere near perfect. I have regrets, but there's always room to improve. I am so much farther than I used to be. So Father's Day is coming up, and I lost my father when I was 5, I was told. So he left when I was 5. I have one picture of my dad, and that's it. And it's an awful picture. He seems like he's strung out or something. My dad was a heroin addict, but I love that picture because it's the only one I have of me sitting with him on his lap. Dads mean everything. So Father's Day is coming up, and I want to say my condolences to those of you that have lost your father, those of you that didn't have one, like me. I had a few stepdads along the way. You know what? But there's nobody like your real dad. I'm sorry if you've lost yours. I'm grateful if your dad is still here and happy for you. And just know that if you be like me and you don't have a dad in your life either. I got a message when I was clean and sober years ago from my Heavenly Father. So the 12 steps connected me to that God above and enabled me to get into the Bible and learn about what really God's love was about. And I got a message that Christ was my dad now. And having that relationship is the best ever. You know, a lot of things still I don't understand, but our Bible says in Proverbs 3, chapter 5 and 6, or verse 5 and 6, chapter 3, verse 5 and 6, that we're to not lean on our own understanding and acknowledge God in all our ways, and He'll make your path straight. And every time I've done that, my life's been great.